Hey guys, I got a little different type of video for you today. I'm going to be fixing up this old push mower. It's a 2001 model and it's in pretty rough shape. I'm going to see what I can do with it. First thing you notice is the front wheels all bent up here. It's because the deck's rusted out right there. So I'm going to have to cut all that out and weld in a new piece of steel there. And the carburetor needs rebuilt. I say rebuilt, but it's actually just a diaphragm in there you replace and a spring. Ain't much to it at all. You can get a carburetor kit for $5, so that's an easy fix there. And the primer bulb's in good shape. It ain't working right now because there ain't enough gas in it. But there's another problem I got here on this side of the motor. It's all rusted out right here. I'm gonna grind all this down. Well, actually wire a brush at first to see what it looks like. I'm gonna try to weld in there and fill it in and grind it smooth. I'm gonna be repainting the whole deck. Picked out a hunter green, a dark hunter green color to paint the deck with. We want to see how that looks. It seems like all you see is red mowers, and I thought I'd pick a little different color. A lot of them are green too, but not dark green like the one I picked out. So we'll see how that looks. Now most of the time on something like this, the first thing I do is get the engine running, but I'm not in this case because I want to work on the deck first, make sure it's going to be worth fixing. I may get into it and not even be able to fix it, but we'll see what happens here, and I'll save the engine for last. But if I can't get this engine running right, I got another engine in here I can put on it. Another problem I got, this wheel and this wheel are big, and that wheel are small, so all the wheels aren't matched on it. You can kind of see it from here like that. I'm gonna have to fix that. I got two more wheels over here that match the big ones that's on it, so I'm just gonna use them. But I figured it'd be a pretty good little project to make a video on here to show you all what's involved in fixing up an old mower like this. And I'm gonna get into detail of rebuilding that carburetor. And, also the springs are messed up on it. I'll take this off here and show you what I mean. And it needs a new air filter. See, all the springs are, that one's loose, that one's just kind of stuck on there. I'm going to have to work on all that, and I'm going to paint the engine up too. So it's going to be a pretty in-depth project here. I'm going to try to show as much detail as I can on fixing it up. Now the first thing I'm going to do is pull the blade off. And a couple of tips: anytime you do anything on a push mower like this, unhook the spark plug wire. I don't care if you got the switch off and the brake system engaged on it. You just never know, something could go wrong, and if you turn that blade over, it can start spinning while you're down there. You don't want that to happen. Also, when you tip an engine over like this, always put the muffler and the valve cover up. Because if you don't, the oil will drain in there and it'll smoke like crazy when you first fire it up. But also, beware that your gas can leak out of your cap on the gas tank too when you tip them over like this. It's also a good time to show you one of my latest tools I picked up a while back. It's a blade removal tool. I started to do a separate video on it, but I decided not to, and I thought I'd just show you in a video like this. You just clamp it on there like this, and it locks the blade up for you. You want to get it pretty tight. Now beware if that piece of rubber on there gets wore out, it will scratch the finish on there. You see it there, it locks it up so you can get the bolt loose on there. Makes everything a lot easier. Used to have to wedge like a 2x4 or a 4x4 in here, and it just don't work out too good. Sometimes you have to use an impact on these. They're really on there. This one came out. What I do, I just usually leave that on there, because it's almost impossible to get them off. You can use a puller on there, but I think that works just as good. I'm going to be sharpening the blade, of course. That's really dull. There's your close-up of the blade. You see, it's completely rounded over. I don't even think that would cut any grass. Okay, now you got 3 bolts here to hold the motor on. I done checked with the regular ratchet. They're pretty tight, so I'm going to use a cheater bar here. They're liable to break, so be careful. This is 9/16 drive, by the way. It'll be tight all the way. Be best to let it soak in penetrating wool. I'll start loosening this one. It snapped off. Figured that would happen. Now I got this one loose, and the top one's the only one that's holding it. It's kind of best to tilt them like this so you don't have to worry about the engine falling out on the other side. And you just want to set it back up. That way you'll be able to lift it right off like that. Now we'll go ahead and get the cables unhooked here. This mower's got the blade brake set up on there. I don't like it, but I'm just going to leave it alone. I have taken them off before, but it's not recommended to. And then these just slide off. Just pull them off like that. And your cable just slides out like that. And your puller up here, you'll just loosen this right here. Just loosen that. And as soon as you pull it off, put that nut back on there so you won't lose it. And you'll let the engine retract this. And that's everything unhooked on it. Okay, now I got it sitting here upside down. And if you look here, you got one bolt here with a spacer on it that holds the handlebars on. That's liable to break on me. Well, finally, after about 20 minutes, I got that bolt off. Ended up cutting it. That's a grade 5 bolt, so that's pretty hard to cut with a hacksaw. Now I got this one soaking down and penetrating oil, and we'll do the same thing there. And these wheels, you see I already got that one off. They're just one bolt that goes through there. It holds it. And this one's a washer, and some of them have like a spacer on there. Well, I just broke another bolt that holds the handlebar on there. And this is one of the spacers off of it. And that's the other one there. It just shattered, so I'm gonna have to find another one of these, or use a nut or something like that, and a couple of new bolts, which I got the bolts. So here's where we're at now. Still got the front wheels to get off, and take that piece of rubber off and the chute. Now what I'm going to do is just try to scrape some of this loose grass and everything off here. And I'm not going to detail it yet, but and to remove the deflector, you'll just remove 2 bolts with a nut on the bottom. And that comes right off. And this back piece just comes off with these 2 screws right here. This corner here where it's rusted out, I've then laid out the plate that'll be going on there. Drill them 3 holes out for the adjustment. It's not that critical, they don't have to line up exactly. And I'm going to straighten all this out and weld this in there. And the same for the other corner. Except on the other corner it ain't quite as bad, so I'm going to use this thinner metal here. And the same thing on the other side. Well, there's the first one made, ready to go, ready to weld on there after I cleaned up with the wire brush. And we'll get ready to drill out this one. And there's the second one. Okay, now I'm going to do some wire brushing here and get it ready to weld them brackets in and everything. Okay, I've been wire brushing here a little bit on this. Now I'm going to get ready to go ahead and straighten this here. I'm going to have to heat it up a little bit here to get this to bend down right. Now I'm going to try to get this piece in here and line up what's left of the holes there. This has cooled down some now. I'm going to get in there and hold this with vice grips. It ain't going to take quite as much from this side, but I'm going to go ahead and wire brush that down a little bit. Okay, here it is after I got most of the wire brushing done. Give you an idea what that side is going to look like. Got it clamped in here. Don't have to be an angle piece, but that's all I had. Well, I'm pretty much ready to weld here now. I'm going to try to fill these in the best I can. See what happens there. And a spot over here too needs filled in. And well, as you can see, it's just blowing holes in it because the metal's so thin, and I got the welder set on the low amperage setting and tried adjusting the wire speed. It just ain't helping any, so I'm going to go and try to weld the brackets in. We're going to try to come up with something else for that. Well guys, taking a look at it here after I got done welding there, and you just can't weld it. It's too thin and it's rusted out, and I was just making it worse with the welder, and I had it on the low setting, which is about, I think, either 40 or 60 amp, but it's a 90 amp welder and flux core, and it's just blowing holes through it. I did get the bracket in there. It don't look the greatest, but it's in there pretty strong, and the time you get the bolt in there, it holds the wheel on. I think it's going to be alright. So the other side about the same as that. So what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to do it on the camera because I'm not too experienced, and I don't want to show you the wrong way of how to do it. I'm actually going to use Bondo like you use on a car and do this. So we're going to see how this works, and it should work a lot better than trying to weld it. What you need for doing stuff like this is a torch and brazing it. Because brazing, you can just start filling it in right there, then grind it all smooth, and it worked pretty good. And same for putting the brackets in. Brazing worked good on something like that. It'd be perfect for it. But oh well, I did what I could do with what I had. So we're going to try this with the Bondo. And but most of the time, you pick up a cheap lawnmower or something at a yard sale or something, you're not going to have to do all this. So that's why I'm skipping steps on it too. Thought I'd let you know what I'm going to do here since the welding didn't work out. So we'll get back to you here in a minute. Get the Bondo drying out here. I had my dad actually do it this time. I never have really actually done it, so I'm going to try it next time now I get more of an idea of what to do. Well, I got the bottom of it painted up here pretty good. The bottom really ain't real critical, because it's just going to be covered in grass and everything. You can see there where the Bondo was on the outside. We was careful not to have it come in too far or to hit the blade and all that. But that's about all you need to do on the bottom side. I didn't even prime it because I usually repaint this about once every 2 years anyway, so it's best to do that. That's what keeps it from rusting out in the first place, is keeping them dry and not out in the weather and not cutting wet grass. That's why they get like this.